And then there were four. What's going on, guys? Today we have another great video. Today we're going to be going over the semifinals of the World Cup. Tomorrow and Wednesday is going to be France versus Spain, and then Argentina versus England. And today we're going to be breaking down my thoughts on the games, what I think will happen, what I think the scores will be, with the predictions, and more importantly, we'll be mentioning who I believe will make the final. And then once we're there, we're there. With all that being said, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment for the algorithm, please, and let's get this video started. First game up, France versus Spain. Now I'm going to share my screen here with you guys, but France versus Spain genuinely will be the best game of the tournament, in my opinion. However, I do feel like it'll let a lot of people down, and we're going to get into why I believe that later on, a little bit on into the video. But first off, I just want to say congrats to these two teams for making it. Congrats to France for dominating their competition. Congrats to Spain for not dominating their competition, struggling with the likes of a Portugal, with the likes of a Belgium, and just even with the likes of a Uruguay earlier. Spain has not looked that good, in my opinion. Their attack has been extremely flat. You can tell that with the loss of Nico Williams, and Baena has been very, very poor for them. I believe he hasn't had one good game. These stats may say he has a good game, but if you watch the performances, they're pretty dry. You can just tell they're missing the flair, the speed, the fear that Nico Williams brings to defenders over on that side. And Lamine Yamal has been terrible this whole entire World Cup, in my opinion. Just one goal, no assists, a little tap in is all he can muster up. And Oyarzabal is getting a lot of shouts, even though I don't think he's really that good. He's just benefiting from such a flawless system that Spain has. So their attack has not been very impressive. Only they scored 3 goals in the last 2 games, which 2 against Belgium. Both of these games actually were due to Mikel Merino with game winners. So that's not very promising to see from Spain. Again, their midfield has looked bad. Rodri has looked very, very, very great in this World Cup. Rodri has definitely been their best midfielder, but their best guy, the best midfielder in the world, that some people believe, Pedri, has been terrible this entire World Cup, in my opinion. He is just turning around, twisting and turning. I don't think he has a GA in this entire World Cup yet. Let me check that, actually. He doesn't. He doesn't have a GA in this entire World Cup. He's just passing the ball back and forth, not really creating plays either. They haven't had to play an elite level offense, and now they have to play one of the greatest offenses we've seen in the World Cup ever. And Spain's play style has looked bad. Fuente has not been moving them as good as he did 2 years ago. They don't look as impotent as they did in 2024 in the Euros or even the Nations League. They've looked so poor off the ball and on the ball. If they don't have the ball, then they're easily counterable on. France is a team where you really can't be slacking on that. They'll easily counter you, and that's going to really hurt them because, again, they haven't played an elite offense as France has, as they have Mbappe. At least they do, and Dembele. And I believe that this game, Spain's defense will get punished. They haven't played anyone good offensively yet, so I don't see this going any positive ways for Spain from those departments, from their offense and defense. Now, from France's POV, I think this is a money match for France. I think this is really this game could get really bad for Spain. One thing I like to say also about the coaches, Didier Deschamps has been coaching phenomenally this World Cup. And also, I love that he's flexible. He's able to change his lineups. He's able to just slide in Kone. He's able to put on Barcola for Doué. He's able to swap in Thuram for Mbappe if he's tired. He's able to make the right adjustments. And he's not afraid to put somebody in there that's maybe young or somebody that's in there that may not know what they're doing. Last game, putting in Zaire Emery in his first time playing in the World Cup, I believe, for France. And he had an okay cameo. He didn't have to do much. But still, my point is, Didier Deschamps isn't afraid to change up the lineups, and Fuente hasn't been able to do such, except for when he's benched Pedri. Now, will he bench Pedri in this game? I really doubt it. I think this is a game where he feels as if he needs to dominate possession. And without Pedri, you can't really do that. Rodri's not going to be able to do that by himself. But with those two together, they will be able to dominate possession. But I'm getting sidetracked. So that's what I was saying. Mbappe, Elise Doué, Dembele, one of the greatest attacks of all time in the World Cup. The midfield for France has been sensational. Rabiot and Kone have been some of the best box-to-box midfielders in the entire world. These two have been very consistent alongside each other. Then you have the 2 best center backs in the world, Saliba, Upamecano, holding it down. It's kind of the opposite of Spain, actually. You look at it, Cubarsí and Laporte are their weakest links in the defense, in my opinion. While this is our strongest in our defense, Saliba, Upamecano. But even Jules Koundé hasn't been that stellar. But if Baena is starting, he shouldn't have any problems. And Digne has been really good for who Digne is, but it's Lamine Yamal. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. However, I will say Due does track back. Dembele does love to track back. They will be able to help out our fullbacks and be able to make it very frustrating for Spain and Baena. And the keys to victory for both teams, I see France. Play have you been playing? France has been able to score on low blocks, on counters, with build-up play. France can score every single way. So if I was Spain, I'd be looking to dominate possession. I'd be looking to try to get it to Yamal as much as I can and try to get as many crosses as I can as well. The cross game and the wing play for Spain. That's my key to victory for them. France, counter, build up, be prepared to press, stay consistent. And I think that this game could be really easy for France as I see them being able to dominate this game. I don't see this game being close at all. France has looked too good. Spain has looked too shaky. So many question marks about this team, especially their back line, especially their offense. Everything except for Rodri has been very, very questionable for Spain this entire World Cup, whereas everything for France has been a guarantee, like a lockdown. Like, you know how good France has been playing, you know how good everybody else has been playing on their team. Whereas Spain, I can't say that for anybody except for Rodri. Rodri's been their best player this tournament by far. And I see this really being bad for Spain. It's going to be bad, Yamal, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's going to be really bad for Spain. I see this being a dominant 3-0 for France. I just can't. I don't see how Spain can stop this attack. They haven't matched up against anybody as good as this or close to anybody as good as this. And their offense has been terrible while France's defense, including their midfields, have been locked down. You're not getting easy tap-ins with Saliba and Upamecano there. Digne and Koundé are a worry for me as a France fan, but Digne doesn't have to do much because Doué will track back. Rabiot will be there with him. Kone will be able to move here in this area right here. Olise will be back as well. And if Nico Williams makes this sub, he's not going to start. He's too injured. He won't start, but he'll probably sub in 60th minute. Nico Williams subs on. I'm not worried either because he didn't look good in his little cameo either when he subbed in for 20 minutes. So he's nowhere near being healthy. This game, it should be an obvious rollover for France. It looks like a big game because it's Spain versus France, and we know the history of these last two games they played. I believe it was like 5-4 last time they played, and then 2-1. Spain has beaten them twice in a row. But I feel like this is France's time. This is their best team that they've had versus Spain. And it's unfortunate that Spain isn't fully healthy because we would love to see that for competition-wise. But, yeah, I see this going one way. Spain may dominate possession just off of their midfielders alone, but I don't see how Spain scores on France. I don't see how Yamal has been terrible this whole World Cup. I don't see him just randomly turning it on against this elite of a defense. Baena has been terrible his entire career. He's not going to do anything. Oyarzabal needs to get fed the ball. He's not ever going to create anything off his own. Rodri is pretty dangerous, but Pedri is easily contained when he's matched up against a big midfielder. Their defense is easily punchable, in my opinion. These four are going to kill this defense. I think this is going to be France 3-0, Mbappe brace, Saliba header in like the 88th minute. Next up, we have England versus Argentina. This game should be better than the France game because I believe the France game is just going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a very dominant 3-0 for France to beat Spain. But this game, I can see this going to extra time or a 2-1 winner or something like that. So let's get into it. So with what I have for this one, England versus Argentina. Now, Argentina has been just scraping by competitions. If you look here, just scraping. I know it says 3-1, but they went to extra time with Switzerland. Switzerland was down 10 men at the 70th minute, I believe. Let me check that actually. Yeah, 72nd minute. They were down by 10 men. Argentina couldn't score until Julian Alvarez made an absolutely banger of a goal in the 112th minute. But even that, they took that Julian Alvarez to play out of his body for them to get a goal on Switzerland. Same thing with Egypt. Egypt was up 2-0 on them. They did make a comeback, but still, how are you being beat by Egypt? And Cape Verde gave them the scare of their life as to when what's his name? Hold on. When Cabral made that goal of the tournament against them, and they struggled against Cape Verde as well. Argentina has looked terrible this World Cup, and for their standards, as they won the last World Cup, is very scary for them because England, on the other hand, has looked they haven't looked good, but they've been able to beat impressive teams. They went into Azteca and beat Mexico. They're able to beat Norway. Coming back, I believe, right? Yep, coming back, Bellingham, superstar performance. Mexico, again, Bellingham, superstar performance. Making a comeback. England has been in form at moments more in the last two games. I mean that as in England hasn't been like this dominant team. They haven't been looking unstoppable or by any means of that nature. They've actually looked pretty sloppy, but the superstar performances from Bellingham and Kane have just wielded them past better competition than Argentina's played. Argentina hasn't played anybody good this entire World Cup at all. Very, very lackluster competition. Whereas England just ran through a gauntlet in beating Mexico and Norway, and now they're headed out to face Argentina. Argentina now, their back line is terrible as well. Their Romero Martinez, like this, their back line is so old, man. They're slow. They play so open as well. If you watch Argentina, they're so open, so open. Bellingham should get a goal in this game, or something. Bellingham should get a goal this game just off of his movement alone. Like they'll just stand still, not really moving a lot. They're using the same, almost the same roster as when they won the World Cup in 2022, which is hindering them because they have so much young talent on the bench that can do dirty work. Like they have Simeone, who's, I don't like him as a person, but he's a really good midfielder. Nico Paz, they have Celso on the bench. Those three alone should be getting PT, and they're and they're not even touching the field. Nico Paz hasn't touched the field, I don't think, once, and he's just letting these DePaul, Paredes, and McAllister run the midfield, and that's not working for them. They're so slow. They're small. They're older. This team just isn't really properly put out there to dominate like a team against England. Like England's star power alone should be able to handle with Argentina. Argentina has had Messi. He's been having a phenomenal World Cup. He hasn't played anybody good yet, but this will be his first real test. If he has a great performance against England, even if he loses, great performance, I'll take my hands up to you. I apologize for everything I said about you in my previous videos. But until then, you got to show me something, because you balling out on Egypt, Cape Verde, Jordan, Austria, Switzerland isn't impressive to me. I have too high of a standard for someone that they call the GOAT. So that's just me. Julian Alvarez has been terrible. McAllister's been These Paul Paredes has been bad. Romero's been bad. Martinez has been bad. Their entire team has been terrible. Messi is wielding them, carrying them to the promised land of being in the semifinals. Argentina is a mess right now, and I think it's really all down to Scaloni. He's just a hard-headed coach. He doesn't trust his bench, as I said earlier. So much young talent that will be able to help y'all out. Like the young energy. You have so many old players in this lineup that just get lazy. They get tired pretty easily, and you don't have all these excellent young players out here who would be hungry to make a name for themselves, who would run, who would press for y'all, and it just doesn't work. Argentina doesn't press well. They don't really build up that well. If a team is pressing them, they struggle because, once again, they're not that good at passing. They're pretty small. Other than Messi, none of them really can create anything off their own. Messi is his entire team. Don't need Messi to be at his best to even compete with England. So we're going to look at England's side now. England has looked very, very I would say Bellingham and Kane have looked very, very good. The other one, everybody else is just pitching in. England isn't, again, they're not a scary team to play in the sense of they're as a team. Only thing you should be scared of England is this man right here, Jude Bellingham. He is sensational. He's remarkable. The performances he's been putting on as a midfielder are out of this world. Him having 6 goals, I believe, in this World Cup as a midfielder in the Golden Boot conversation is baffling. It's remarkable how talented of a player he is. He just has the 9 instinct, basically saying he has a striker's instinct. He can just be everywhere where he needs to be. He's never lacking movement. I feel like he never is stuttering. He just knows what to do. Even on the second goal, when Morgan Rogers shot from outside the box, his initiative to just immediately run towards the ball before it even bounces off the goalkeeper's hands, because the goalkeeper pats it away. His instinct to just immediately run, and first of all, to stay onside, and then to just make the run just in case the keeper doesn't catch it. Brilliance from Jude Bellingham for that second goal. Bellingham, in my opinion, this back line and how open Argentina plays, this should be his game. This should be his way of getting into the Golden Boot race once again. I think he scores a goal this game. I think Harry Kane can score a goal this game as well. The rest of the guys, I mean, they just pitch in. Madueke is there, Gordon's there, Anderson, Rice, they're all there. Right. Also, one more thing, England's back line isn't that good. This is better than Argentina's. Nico O'Reilly's pretty good. Guehi's good. Stones and Konza, they're not good. Obviously, Reece James is injured, so you can't really blame him for that. But they're just not a good back line, in my opinion. Pickford is a bad goalkeeper as well. He has a bad history. So this game, I said this game would be really fun to watch. Both of these teams could legit put 3 past each other just off of their back lines and how open they play. England and Argentina love to both play counterattack and possession. And when they don't play that, they don't sit back in a low block. They really try to press off the ball more, which if England is allowed to attack Argentina a lot, Bellingham's there, Kane's there for headers. However, if Argentina's there to attack England, they could really hurt England and ruin their hopes of bringing it home, as they say. So Argentina or England can definitely win this game. The main things it's going to come down to is the coaches, though. Thomas Tuchel and Scaloni. I feel like whoever is the coach that is willing to bench somebody is going to win this game. I don't think obviously the starting 11 is not going to be out there the whole game, but Scaloni never takes people off or takes risk. Tuchel never takes risk either. Him subbing on Saka for Madueke isn't a risk. Saka's a better player than him, which isn't saying much. But still, Eze for whoever, Anderson isn't a risk. Like, you have such great players on the bench. Marcus Rashford should be getting PT. I think Ollie Watkins isn't a bad shout. Kobe Mainu should be subbing in 60th minute, in my opinion. Once Anderson does his thing, Kobe Maynard should be getting in. His ability to feed attackers, he could be feeding Bellingham the ball, Kane the ball, because you look at their midfield, neither of these two are creators. Anderson is more of a box-to-box guy, and Declan Rice, I really don't know what Declan Rice does, but he's like a CDM, so he plays like more defensively. And Madueke and Gordon can only give out so many headers. Gordon with the great pass to Bellingham though in the for the first goal, but still you need somebody in the midfield because that's not as reliable as someone being right here close to Bellingham and Kane, especially when Bellingham is such an elite runner into the box, and Kane is obviously Harry Kane. He's 70 goals this season, so it just doesn't make sense why Kobe Maynard's on the bench. I feel like this game is going to be won by Tuchel or Scaloni, and at the end of the day, I think England will win this game 2-1. I see Bellingham getting a goal, and I see Harry Kane scoring. And I just feel like England has so much going for them. They have a great two-headed attack right here. Argentina's defense is terrible. Argentina plays so open. They're so open to get attacked. If they win this game, England may have had like the worst performance they could have had because Argentina is so open. Even if they sit in the low block. So Switzerland game, so open. He just ran through the middle, and the back four just staring at him as he makes the shot in, as he shoots the ball in the net. Sorry, the back line is just so bad. Martinez isn't that good of a keeper. None of these keepers are good. This game should be a really offensive game, in my opinion. If the teams play as they should play, which is counterattack and a little bit of possession in there. So I'm gonna go England 2-1. Harry Kane and Bellingham both score to move on into the finals to play France, and we'll go on from there. Well, guys, that is the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment for the algorithm. More importantly, if you guys are having a great day, make sure to share that with somebody else. Make sure to allow them to have a great day. Giving them a compliment, make them feel better about themselves, and just have a great day, man. Keep moving forward in your life. Keep chasing the things that you want in life, whether that is to be a content creator, to get a new job, to do whatever you want to do in life that's a positive effect on the world, man. You can only stop yourself, and if you keep going, you can't be stopped. So with all that being said, this has been Dr. Natrell. You can schedule your next appointment at the front desk.